recorded. So just a heads up, I did mute everybody, but if you do have any questions, you can hit Alt and H. That'll bring up the chat window. So feel free to ask any questions. You're also able to fill out a survey link that I'm going to be sending at the end of this call. Be sure to fill that out. If you do, you'll be entered into a drawing to get $200 off next year's subscription. So 200 off 2020 for sticking around. Wait until the end here. And Alt and H, the spot to do that, to do the chat there. So we're going to be doing season management, schedule and classes, points payout schemes, and online registration. So let's get started. So this is what you would see. We're very similar to when you log into your dashboard. This is the test racetrack that we have here in the system. So we can see here, we're going to go just sort of along all of these buttons here to the side. And the first one I'm going to start with is this dashboard itself. We have quick access to all of the buttons over here. They're also going to correspond to the ones right here. We can see how many people have favorited my track on the app. Looks like I've been doing pretty well at that. We can see what my header and profile image look like as well. We'll get into where we go to change that and where we can edit that. We get to our billing and subscription right here. We can see what we're doing with rewards. So we have a lot of things that we can do to get rewards for to save for next year's subscription. The more you do, the better. I'll be going over that more in depth, but you can manage that here. You can get to help and support, and you also get to the sandbox. So if you want to practice anything in a consequence-free environment, you can do that right here. If you ever need to get back to the dashboard, you can always click up here at the top, this MyRacePass logo. We also have my alerts right here. So right now it's wanting me to connect to Facebook and Twitter. So I can do that. So I can share out various things to those social media pages. The next one I'm going to go to, I like to call this sort of the About You section. This is where we're able to change that header image, that profile image. You can see the profile image is going to be right here. We have templates for you to download so that you can give that to your sign guy or whomever, and they can create that for you, and you can get it ready. We'll also, if you'd like, just contact us, and for a fee, we can design these for you right here. We have that header image right here. It'll let us know if it's an appropriate size and if there's too much text, things like that. We also have the profile section. This is actually also going to be what people see in the app about your track. So you can see that I've put in some things about my track, my address information, my mailing address, contact information. So I want people to get in touch with me. I also have my latitude and longitude right here. This actually works with the directions. So on our online tickets, there's a spot where you can say get directions, and it'll take you right here, so you can do that. We also have the track features. These track features are going to be available in the app, so you can actually see some of the different things that I have available there. The last one we're going to see is this alias, and so we can request an alias. What that will do, right down here, you put in an alias. If you're searching for a track in MyRacePass, as it is right now, if you've tried to search for your favorite track, you'd have to go with that, just your favorite track. But if I put in something like YFT, if I knew people called it that, I could put that in there, and if they search for YFT, they would find your favorite track. So if you ever have a name that you've gone by in the past, or you know that there's an abbreviation that people call you, or a different name that people call you, you can request an alias and be found that way. It lets you have better visibility across the MyRacePass network. You also have billing, so we can get to billing from here. and our rewards page right here. So I kind of touched on that when we did the dashboard. I'm going to show you some of the ways that we can do rewards here today. You can get up to $250 off for next year by doing this. So some of the things you can do is you can use MRP Live, which is the transponder integration. If you link up those transponders, use them in a set number of events, and at least 10. You get $50 off next year. The other is online tickets. If you have the majority of your events, 70%, with online tickets, as well as selling 300 online tickets will give you $50 off, as well as the what you would get for selling those tickets there. And I'm going to go over to this page here to show you the kind of those rewards. I'll also put this in the chat. If you have any questions about anything here, you can go to Alt and H and do that here. So this is 70% of events you're using MRP Live with at least 10 events. Use MRP tickets, sell 300 tickets, and then the other one is our dropship apparel program. And I'm going to be going through all of these individually, but I'll be showing you how to get started and what we need. But just have an apparel item and sell 50 items there. And yeah, if you sell 50 items at $5 per profit, that's $250 right there. In addition to the $50 you'd get. So really, you do all three of these things, meet that goal, we'll give you a bonus $100. That'll be $250 off for next year's subscription, dropping a plus plan all the way down to $349. And that does work with the promo code that we give you if you complete that survey and win the drawing. So you do all those things, you complete all those goals, and get a little lucky. You can get MyRacePass for real cheap for next year. And again, I'll show you how to add in online tickets and how to get started with apparel items here today. MRP Live, I did in a past webinar show how to set up MyRacePass for Westhold. So that'll be up on YouTube. And then tomorrow we'll be going over a race night, and we'll be doing my laps as well. So if you want to see both of those and how to get that going, if you'd like to see some of the past webinars that I've done, you can actually go to this help videos, and they'll all be there. Been posting those. So let's go into season management right here. So for me, I already have quite a bit of things set up. So it has my upcoming events, some of the recent events that I've done, as well as it's showing some of my yearly registrations that are pending that I still need to go and confirm. So the first time you do this for a season, you'll have to click up here at the top and create a season for the year. So I've actually done that for 2019. When I get to the end of the year, I will create a new season here for 2020. But this is where all the schedules and registrations are going to be held for that year, for each individual year. And it'll also get you to here, this configuration page. So we can see a couple things with the configuration page. We have our season name, when it starts and ends. We did that when we set up the season. We also have all of the tracks here. So if you are a series, it'll actually ask you to put in the tracks that you're racing at. So what I mean by that will be so you're able to change to different tracks right here. So add the different tracks that I'll be racing at. Since mine is a test racetrack, I'm only able to add these two since it's not real. But you'll have a thing similar to the series down here to add in, so you'd search through. And the same with your track. If you have different series that are going to be racing, you can add those series right here. It'll show some of the series that you've raced in the past. And you're able to search for them right here. So if I was to search for world, we can do that. I'm not going to add in any right here because I don't want to link them together under this fake account. But you will see that I do have that test series right here, and it has a class itself. I have that Sport Compact. So that Sport Compact class, if I was to ever use that series, we know that we'll have to add in Sport Compacts for it. And the cool thing is when we link them, so we're going to be linking the series together. When they're linked, it'll actually share the entry list and the lineups, the results, and then we're able to add points to each of our individual accounts. So the track can add its own points, and the series can add its own points if you need to. So I add in the series first, and then I go down here and add in my classes. When I click Add Classes, these are some classes that I've used in the past that I've dropped for this year, but I'm able to add in more. I can search through the big list of all classes, or I have my sanctioned classes right here. So if there's a specific class in a sanction, like IMCA, I can find that and add them. I'm also, if I go to Manage Classes right here, I'm able to see my name overrides. So for example, with A modifieds, that is another name for IMCA modifieds. So we put in that name override. And so it's going to use this name override name across everywhere. What I'd recommend though, don't put in, try to make it match the classes that you're using. I would not put in for the Sport Compact class, don't put in IMCA modifieds like this or Pure Pony. That's an autofill kind of thing there. Because these results will share out. Drivers are going to be able to find them, but they have to match them by the class they're racing at that time. So if you put them in as a fake class, it'll make it very hard for that driver to find what you're looking for. If you have any questions about classes, let me know. You can hit Alt and H, and it'll bring up the chat window. You can ask in any questions. You're able to ask it to everyone, or you can ask it to me directly. I don't mind. I'm not picky. So, and it doesn't have to be about anything that you have here. It could be about things that you want to see or questions that you have. Be happy to answer those for you there. So we have our classes added, and so for both, I'm going to move right past registrations for now and go right into events, and that's going to take us to the schedule. So with schedules are where we're applying points to. So we have our points. In this case, I have two different schedules keeping track of different things. So if you had something like a speed week or specials, you can put them in that separate schedule there, and it won't apply to the points in the main schedule. So what I mean by that is, in this case, I have two schedules. This test schedule is where my main points are going to be going, or well, this main one right up here is where all of my points are going to be going throughout the year. But since some of my classes use point averages, and I run specials throughout the year, I have this special schedule right here where I apply points and pay, but those don't interfere with the point average that I'll be doing there. And I've also hid this from the public by going down here to this edit button, and I've made it inactive. So it's sort of that specials or those points that are being applied are hidden to the public. You can also apply with those dates. You can apply them to more than one schedule. So I can have my special be on my main schedule, but I apply the points to another one, that hidden one, so it doesn't affect any point averages. So let's get to creating some events. So I'm going to click here. You can see that I race a lot of events at this test racetrack. We are just constantly busy. But if we wanted to add in more dates, we can hit this button right here. It's going to bring up our calendar. We're able to choose the dates that we want to race at. So let's choose, looks like we're set for every Friday, huh? So let's start racing on some Saturdays in August. So I'll choose these two right over here. We'll hit next, and it's going to bring up this window right here, this screen. So we can see a couple things, what we can do. We can add a name to it. I highly recommend that you go through and add a name to every single one of your events. It helps draw it apart from the crowd, especially since right now the name that's going to be on here is 3/21/2019 event. So that's going to be the base name. We like to say that every event is special here in MyRacePass, and we want to make it so that people want to go and want it to be catch the eye. Some of these base names are very Spartan. Let's put it that way, and we want to make it pop. We also can put in additional details about the event. We can put in the time, so when pits open, gates, hot laps, things like that. So let's do that. Let's say 5:45. That sounds like a good time. Not AM. We'll have the gates open. Gosh, I'm always the worst at 7. It's gonna be a late race. We'll do hot laps at 8:45. We're lucky is that racing starts at 10:45. This isn't a real racetrack, so just kind of to illustrate the point. Your times will probably be different than mine, but mine's a little made up, so we're good there. So we're going to select some classes right here. So I'm going to pick the classes that are going to be racing that day. So let's do the 410s and the 360s. That Sport Compact class will be racing and the late models. And that looks good. We'll hit Add Next. And to save time, it will copy over the times for me and the classes right here that I'm going to be racing, so that I can add the whole schedule even faster there. So it'll do that. I can always adjust it if I need to. So we're not actually running Sport Compacts that day. That's just that traveling show. We actually are running super mods. You can do it that way. Or if I added this by mistake, I didn't really mean to do that. We can just click discard and that'll get rid of it there. So some of these you're going to see that they have that Sport Compact class added in for that series. You can see that I've added in, for some of it, we have the series, but let's go to the one we just did here in August. And then we can add in the series right here. And that's going to link them they're going to be linked right now. So when they go in, they can add this class to they can add to their schedule. And to do that, they're going to do something very, very similar. They have the schedule. All of that process is going to be the same. But what they do is they go to here, let's say they're going to work in that class first. And then it's going to say it's already made, which it is. We made it. And also has the times available. Series aren't able to change the times for anything here. That's the track's kind of purpose there. And we'll add it, and then that's going to be linked. So when we add things like, let's get rid of that one. When we add things to this event in August, so when we add in the entry list, it'll update that across both. We don't have to each individually keep the entry list going. So it does help out a lot. It makes things really quick and easy. And let's also sell tickets for this event. So let's do that. We actually are on this event. Same way I added in a series, we can just add in tickets. So we can put in the description here. We have a pre-sale. So let's say, I'm selling these in March. It's where we're going to start. But anybody that buys them before July, for example, I'm going to give them a special price. We'll set if we're going to do a refund or a rain check. We'll just do a rain check. We can rename all of these here. So if I didn't want adult general admission, let's just call this, we can do that. Or put in how many tickets we want to sell online. So let's say 500. We can put in a price. Say it's $15. Do kids 10 and up. I don't want to put in a 10 though. Kids and up. All right. We don't have as many kids passes. We'll do that, and then we can put in, sort of numbers here. But we're also able to put in that pre-sale price, so it'd be available for this lower price if they buy before July. So it does that. We're also able to do pit passes through here, different sections, and we can rename these as well, so you can see that. And we'll just hit add. Those tickets are added. We're able to share these to Facebook and Twitter right from here, and we can take a look at them and edit it here. So I don't want this to be available to the public, so I'm going to disable it. But we are able to do a few things here. We can see how many people sold tickets, who bought those tickets. We can look at the redeem window, and we can Facebook and tweet that out. So I'm going to go to an event that has sold some tickets, and we will. I'll show you what some of these different things look like. So here for the bike night, this is what it would look like. This is the report. And then it's going to break it out by the different types here. So I can have, if I just wanted my pit passes at the back gate, I could separate this report out and either print this out and have them all available and then cross them off as people buy them, or as people show up and say, oh, I'm Zach. We have Zach bring in his ID and we cross him off the list here. Or we also have this redeem window where we can actually scan the voucher itself. This voucher has a barcode and we can scan it. We're also able to, I believe I can go to this. I have to be signed in here. So let me switch one thing and we'll show you that voucher. I do a bit extra. So I'll have to do something here and just kind of switch it out, but you'll be able to see that voucher. I think I got it. Hold on. Here, I think I got that saved. It's a PDF. So this is that voucher when I bought the ticket. So I'm able to print this out. You're able to see that barcode. You also see that I've put in some coupons here. So if you bring this voucher to the concessions, I'm going to give them $1 off here. Or we can give them, I worked with a fictional motel, gave them some $10 off for that. You can see we can do quite a bit there. And you can add those coupons in this ticket information right here, or this coupons right here. After this event is over, we can edit the ticket status right here. There's a form that we'd want from you. It's called an ACH form. It will we'll put that phone number on it, and then you can text. It'll text this phone number with a code. So if I hit send code, it's going to text me a verification code, and I can put in if it was complete, a refund, or a rain check, and it'll do that for us. And we'll deposit the funds into your account the following Tuesday. So a pretty neat thing we got going on there for online tickets. Again, this is something that if you do it, if you hit all the goals for it, you're going to get $50 off for next year's subscription and all of the funds. So my ticket prices are $15 per adult general admission. So I made $15 for each ticket that I sold through general admission. Drivers can get their own special links. If they have a MyRacePass plan, they'll start at $9 a month. And for $9 a month, if they sell tickets using their special link, they'll get $1 for every ticket that they sell using that link. So your drivers can kind of become your salespeople in a way using this. So that's another awesome thing you have going on there. You also can get to tickets right through here. So right from here, you can get to tickets. There is a link to tickets inside the MyRacePass app. So fans who are sitting in the stands, keeping up on your race for this week can actually buy tickets for next week. right from the app. And they can also do apparel right from the app too. So they can buy apparel that you have on our marketplace all right there. So it's very easy to get set up on tickets. And if you have any questions about that, let me know. It's going to be Alton H to bring up that chat window. Any questions about anything we're doing here? We're going to go back to season management. We're going to take a look at all of our events right here. We're going to go over a couple more things on this page. So you can see we have the different icons. So it looks like we snowed out our February 1st event. But if I go down here, I can also edit the status. That's where you do that right here. You can see that we're going to be both my series and my tracker racing that day, but I can rain it out, postponed, canceled. And I just put in that message and I'll drop that for me. And you can see each of those icons will show there. And all of that will show on the app too, and on the website. If you have my MyRacePass website, everything that you're doing here will update the website for you, and the app too. So it'll update the app and let people know. So we'll go to registrations next. We kind of glossed over that real quick there, but we'll go to registrations. Here we can actually set up online registrations for our drivers. So we have a yearly registration here. What a yearly registration will do, we have all the classes that we want to register. You can see the form right here for the drivers to fill out. We have them fill out their information, put in what classes they're going to be racing there. We can actually link this up to a PayPal account and collect payments through it. We're also able to share this to our accounts from here too. With the yearly registration, when drivers register online, when we confirm them, so you can see I have some pending registrations right here. When I confirm them, I just link them up to a profile in the system. So I'll bring up this window and we can fill this out. It'll put this address information into MyRacePass into your contact list right here. We see that it's actually going to have some of this information here. And it'll also put them into the entry list inside of race management and say that they've confirmed their registration. You also have this nice registration form right here. So you can fill this out, have any tax ID information right here collected for you. So you do that, but that's not the only kind of registration. This is the yearly one. This will put the drivers into that big list of drivers for you. But there's other ones we can do. One that I have right here is a single event registration. So if you have a big event, for example, and you know that you're going to have a lot of drivers from out of town who might not necessarily be racing every single week, you can create a single event one. It'll ask for what day you're racing. You can put in any fees and things there. The big difference is that these drivers won't appear in your entry list from week to week. So they won't stay for every single event there. Again, the idea is that you're expecting that a lot of these drivers are going to be drivers who aren't going to be weekly drivers. The last kind of registration that we have is a general registration. So this is for non-racing events, is what they're put in as. So this can be a lot of things in general. So we could, I've seen this be used for quite a few different things, but this will just collect some base information. If you're looking for things where you don't necessarily have to be a driver, you can do that. So if you choose the wrong class, you can always edit this right here. And you can edit that here. We can add a class right up here. And if you need to add an additional class to the class list, you do that in configuration, but we can add a new class from our list. So I've actually added in these, like the super modified class right here. We could add it right up here. And then if you choose if they choose the wrong class, it can be changed. So if they have registered in the wrong class, you can actually click up here and change the class right over here. So you can change the classes right here, or add in owners. You can also assign a hard card if you have those right from here. So you can do a lot there. If you have any other questions, this has got some great questions so far. Alt and H is the place to do that. We also have exports here too. So I'm able to export the full list. And if I just wanted rookies, we could do that right here, or print out everything. We also can manually add a registration too, if we wanted to do that. I'm going to go right on to points. Here we can see just one class of points. We can switch in between our different classes right up here. We can switch in between different schedules here too. But for this one class, we can scroll down. This is everybody. This will share on to if you have an API or a MyRacePass website. It'll actually show there, except for the earnings. It won't show anything with the payout data. But you can see all that pay, or that points here and pay, so you can see kind of at a glance. It's also keeping track of the owner's pay. We also can view the specific standings as a specific date. So if we wanted to see what it looked like at the beginning of the month, we could do that. And it also is showing you what events were included with these points and which events weren't. So there's some of these events that weren't included in this point total. So we can kind of see what's going on at a glance. We also were able to click on an individual driver and see the full breakdown of where they got all of their points all from here. So we're able to see if we want to just kind of audit this one driver sort of at a glance. We also have other reports right here that'll show that in a different report sort of format. So we also have some other things in the settings that I didn't go over. One of them was this registration messages. So I could add a welcome message. We could put this welcome message right here using this, they're called the super pages. So each of these are kind of like Lego blocks right here. So you can put in each individual block, kind of how you want to do things. So if you want to have a specific message or terms and conditions, my terms and conditions are the lyrics to La Bamba. But you can add more. This was just a simple paragraph in there. And I do see your question, and I'll be going over that here very soon when we get to the end there. We also have in here the points and pay out schemes. So you can see that I have a few different points and payout schemes available. So I can do add scheme. We have a few global presets here. So here's one for NCRA. Essentially, this does it the way that they would do their points and pay. So this is how NCRA does theirs. If there's any rules specific to them, those are going to be baked into there. And we can see all of our different points and pay schemes here. This one we can't edit if you're using a global preset. We can add pay to it if we wanted to, but let's add in one manually. So I'm gonna remove some of these. I tend to do that if I just like to keep this sort of cleared up if I'm not gonna use them anymore. So to add a new scheme, if I didn't want to use a global preset, say I wanted to use, we'll just call it new pay. So we can copy over points and pay schemes that we've done in the past from here, if I'd like. I'm not going to do that, but you could do that if you wanted to kind of riff off of the same idea. We can add in our show up points and non-start points. So the difference between these 2 points is this is any driver that takes at least 1 lap. And this would be if a driver just shows up and has the worst luck ever and just does not start anything. That's when they achieve this. So let's add a breakdown. So these breakdowns are going to be where these points or pay are going to be attached to. So for right now, let's just say we're going to do my A feature pay. And for my pay, points and pay are going to work very similar, but let's just do, gosh, I'm always the worst at adding in fake numbers. So we'll say $800 for first place, and we'll decrease them by 20 bucks, and we'll do 20 rows of that. So when I hit add rows, it's going to go down 20 rows. Each one's going to go down by $20. And it'll do that for me. I'm not locked into this by any means, so if I wanted to change it, I can. Kind of go down from there. I can always add more rows in too if I wanted to. And I can also make it so that drivers don't receive show up money in that case there. I can add another breakdown here for heats, or let's do a B feature. We'll do 300, decrease them by 10, and we'll go 15 positions this time. So you're seeing when I add a B feature or any other race here, I can actually click this race right here. And so when I do this, and this is saved, any driver that transfers out of a B feature won't receive any of this right here. So if they transfer into an A feature, they don't receive any of this money. So it'll do that for you there. So yeah, this would go to the first non-qualifier. So if the top 4 out of your B transferred, this would be 5 on back, if that makes sense. So this screen, we have a question if this screen can show total payout amount. This screen will only show possible, but you will be able to see the total payout amount. That's actually going to be in the payments tab, which is right here. So this is actually showing me the total that I paid out for each individual class. Since this isn't right here, this isn't necessarily guaranteed that I'm going to have this many positions. So I don't know, but this shows the total payout amount right here that I applied. If I was to apply that points pay scheme, and it's going to break it down by each class and then the big totals around here. Yeah, we can also do different pay right here as well. And then we also have passing point lineups right up here. So if you're ever using passing points, we have a few global presets there, or you can create your own if you'd like as well. That's where we are. Clear out some of these tabs. We're also able to do the manage drivers, so I'm going to do that right here. This is actually all the drivers that show up in my driver list in the entry list. So we can sort by, I'm just going to work in one class because all of my drivers race all classes all at the same time, so it's a little confusing sometimes, but for that they're all racing 5. This is a better example. We can also set all the default car numbers and transponder numbers. We can do that per class. So when I did see all of the drivers, you can see that some of these drivers have different transponder numbers depending on the class that they race. So you're actually able to set it up. So if you see that you have multiple in here, it's not that you maybe have a duplicate, but it could just be that they race multiple classes. So it's something to look out for. If we have a driver we know that's going to be retiring or he's not going to be racing on our track anymore, we can just set them to disabled or archived. That would be where we would do that. That's going to be that manage drivers right there. And anybody that shows up as active will show up on that entry list in that filter. So we can add drivers from here. We can print out the full roster, do a lot from here. The last one we might see here is suspensions. That's going to be something we're going to be doing more with in the future. So keep an eye out for that. We had a question here from the managed drivers about the default transponder. By clicking default, will that keep the transponder number for the next race? Yes, that default transponder number, and it's actually going to put that right here. So if I was to put one in here and save it, the next time I use him in the 305s, I'll have his default car number, default transponder number. If we needed to change that in advance, we could do that here. And when you click that inside the race management, so inside that entry list button there, that actually updates it there too. So it'll actually update here when you're clicking it. So the next thing I'll show is these reports here. So we have a ton of different reports. I kind of alluded to some of these earlier. There's a lot to look at. So one that I kind of mentioned here. We do have this. This is going to be the points by date, so it's going to show everybody. You're also able to export this as well. Nope. If you change the transponder number, it doesn't matter which one you do. They both kind of have their own individual. So the question we had is, if you change the transponder, does it matter which screen you change it in? No, but one would be more suitable. So if you changed it inside of race management and changed the default there, that's how I would do it if it was at the track, sort of the day of. I wouldn't really go to the manage driver screen. But if you had a driver call you in advance and say, hey, I bought a new transponder, this is the number, you could go in advance and update it for his class if you knew that that was something that was happening. So they each kind of have their own uses, but they will do the same thing. They're just different applications. So yeah, we can export this to Excel, which is probably a good idea because this one can get kind of long. We also can do the same thing with pay. You can see the full pay. It's going to show me where the owners got paid. It's going to do that for the classes here too. So we have a lot of reports here that you can use. You have access to. So I'm going to open it up to questions. While I do that, if you have any questions, Alt and H is the spot to do that. I had a question about adding in rookies. So rookies would be kept track of inside of season management here. Instead of registrations is where it's going to be keeping track of if they are a rookie or not. It's just something that they'll select when they do their registration. So it'll ask if it is your rookie year, and that's where it will do that. If you add them in here, we'll keep track of them. If you want to keep their points separate in a special scheduled race, you would have to kind of do that. If you wanted to do that, the way that I would do that is I would have a separate schedule for that. If you're keeping track of their points across the whole schedule, you could do that here, and then just use a different points group. So this is a little bit advanced, but let's do it here. Let's go to my. So I'm going to go to yesterday's because that is in multiple. So how I would do it, each of these guys has two separate schedules, right? So I could click here and add an additional points and pay group. So if I wanted to do the new pay, or I would do the points and new pay, I could apply it to the schedule. So in this case, it was rookies. And then I would just only apply these to the rookies here, only the points here to the rookies. So I might even just do this. So I would uncheck anybody that isn't a rookie. And so I'd have one where only my rookies were getting points. And then I have my main one. And these are going to two different schedules. So the main one right here is being kept one way. And then you can see the rookies as being kept this way. And so it can, that's another use for this points group right here. You can add different points groups like I did, and that'd be a use for a separate schedule as well. That's how I would do that. If you have any additional questions, Alt and H is the spot to do that. It is your time to ask those questions. I'm going to be putting in the form right here for now. So here we are. So if you please fill out that form, that's how you get entered into the drawing for $200 off next year's subscription. Asked if there's a way to tell rookies out of the overall list. There wouldn't be a way inside of race management to show which driver was a rookie or not in each class. But it will show, but you can keep track of the rookies. You could export the full list of rookies there inside of the season management. So I'm going to be in, so please fill out that link that I gave out there. I'm going to be in tomorrow. That'll be the last 5:30 walkthrough for the year. It'll be going over the full race night with driver check-in, transponder integration, schedule and classes. We're going to be doing points and payout schemes and online registration. So feel free to join me with that one. I'll be doing my laps that day. It'll be tomorrow at 5:30. We're also doing the last webinar is going to be on Thursday at 12:30. We're going over the MyRacePass app, online ticket sales, dropship apparel, questions. So that'll be sort of the last webinar time available as well. So, if you have anything there, that would be your time to do that. But yep, you feel free asking questions, answering those. Alt and H spot to do that. So if you are unable to attend, they will be saved to YouTube. I've been putting those on there. I'm kind of behind on some of those, but I'll be posting those. And we also have the past ones available on YouTube. If you scroll down that page, you're all able to see them right there. So that's no problem. Yeah, and also we do have the shirts too. I had mentioned that. So if you are interested in apparel, some cool things about that. Essentially, with the way the apparel program works is that we'll design something for you. You can put that up on we'll put that up on our marketplace, and you can put that on your website, share that out. We have all of these kinds of options available with a ton of different colors. And then you set the pricing, and we actually create them and send them out as they're ordered. So that's a really cool thing that you have access to. And if you sell, I said you sell 50 items there, you get not only the money that you get from selling all those, but $50 off for next year's subscription. So really cool thing that you guys have access to. But all right, this is going to be closing it up here in a couple minutes. There's not any more questions, so feel free to ask those at Alt and H, the spot to do that. Feel free as well if you ever need to. We have everything available. You can view those past webinars and the help videos. We also have articles that go over everything. Also, feel free to email us. Be this email right here. So all of that and more is available. So you got a lot of things you can do there. So Alt and H, the spot to do that. Be kind of wrapping things up here. Then I will be in again tomorrow at 5:30, going over quite a bit there. So looking forward to seeing y'all then, and have a great rest of the night.